This is the brand new Infinix GT10 Pro Grand Gaming Tour. Outplay the rest is the tagline. And the first win, if you do decide to pick up one of these, is the fact that this costs less than $250 at launch. So this makes this an incredibly affordable gaming option. And here are the top line specs. It's running the MediaTek Dimensity 850. The top tier Dimensity is the 9000 series. This one, the 8050, sits around the middle of the second tier of chips from MediaTek. But it's definitely no slouch. It is a 6nm chip. It's got one Super ARM Cortex with an impressive 3 GHz. It's got 3 performance cores at 2.6 GHz and 4 efficiency cores, 2 GHz. And it's got that ARM Mali G77 graphics processor with MediaTek's latest Mali Valhalla architecture with 9 graphics cores. So just to put it simply, this phone is really geared towards gaming, if you can already tell by the tagline. And the standard version of this phone comes with UFS 3.1, 256 gigabytes and 8 gigabytes of LPDDR4X RAM, which can be extended to 16 using some of that UFS 3.1 storage if you need a little bit of a speed boost. And Infinix do emphasize the Extreme Fluent Pure XOS, which is the skin on Android 13. They call it pure because basically there's no bloatware on the device. It's still in the box, so I haven't actually seen it firsthand, but that's what I heard. They've also got the omnidirectional sensing engine. This is likely to do with the haptics used on board to give you a bit of a sense of where things are happening within the games. And then it's got a unique design which is inspired by cyberpunk style, futuristic mecha design kind of thing. And like all good gaming phones should have, it does have mini LEDs in the back, so you can customize the look a little bit. And when you look at the side of the box, you see a few more things that they highlight. You've got Wi-Fi 6, which is fantastic, UFS 3.1, which we already mentioned, Bluetooth 5.3, so that's fantastic as well, power delivery 3.0, vapor cooling chamber, high-res audio. Now, the reason they're emphasizing this is because this phone does have a headphone jack, which means zero latency audio when gaming, which is ideal for competitive gaming. So you're actually going to hear things as and when they happen without any delay. All right, now let's get this thing out of the box. Your SIM ejector pin, see-through silicone case, an official Infinix screen protector, and an install guide for that screen protector. And here's the phone itself, and it's highlighting some of the key features and the fact that it is a 5G processor and that the display is a 10-bit 120Hz Full HD AMOLED with in-display fingerprint reader. Check out the back on this. I wasn't sure if I was gonna like this. I've seen pictures of it before, but actually this looks pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit of the Nothing phone, but a lot more colorful. It looks like all of these parts are actually underneath the back panel, but I don't know, it may be just sort of printed beneath the surface. Either way, it does look really cool. So first impressions of the back of the Infinix GT10 Pro as well. This thing is unique, and I do like the look of the camera module too. They've added some nice little details on there just to add to the effect. So if you're wondering about the cameras, the primary rear camera is a 108 megapixel, 1/1.67 inch sensor, and then we have 2 additional 2 megapixel sensors for depth information and sensing and things like that. The front camera is pretty unique as well. It's in that centrally placed cutout. It is 32 megapixels, but it's also got a dual flash in the display, which is something we don't even see on flagships, so that's pretty impressive. When it comes to video recording, the maximum video quality is 4K 30 frames per second. You can also do slow-mo at 720p 240 frames per second. Now there is a pre-installed screen protector on here, which is surprising, especially considering that they ship one with it in the box. Let's take that off. So let's go back to the box real quick. As you can see, you do get a 45-watt Infinix charger in the box, as well as an orange USB-A to USB-C port. And something that's cool about this one is it is a right-angled USB connector. So that means when it is charging, it's kind of flush to the side as opposed to sticking out, so you can still game with the cable in, which is good. And you do also get a wired set of headphones. So like I mentioned before, the advantage of having a wired set of headphones as opposed to a wireless one is the fact that you don't get any latency in the audio. So if you are serious about your gaming, this is the way to go. And there is an inline mic and a button here for play, pause, and things like that. Now, something that's interesting about the packaging here is you can use the packaging as a sort of amplifier for the speakers on the device. So in order to do this, we need to take the insert of the box out, turn it upside down and put it back in. You could run the cable in to the box from the back, so you can be running on power the entire time whilst using this little speaker setup. Okay, let's do a little speaker test. So this is how the speakers sound when not in the little amplifier. This is the HP Omen 16 gaming laptop, codename XD0001NA. And this particular model has the AMD Ryzen 7. It's the 7840HS APU. It's got a This is the HP Omen 16 gaming laptop, codename XD0001NA. And this particular model has the AMD Ryzen 7. It's the 7840HS APU. So let's talk about the display on this. It's a 6.67 inch. It's a flat AMOLED, 93% screen to body ratio, and it is a flexible OLED, so they've been able to tuck the screen under the bottom edge, which eliminates any chin, which was quite commonly seen on budget smartphones in the past. Peak brightness is 900 nits, refresh rate up to 120 Hz. It can switch back down to 90 or 60 Hz to save power. Touch sampling rate 360 Hz, contrast ratio 5 million to 1, and PWM frequency, so that's the flicker, is 1920 Hz. You do have that cut out for the selfie camera, and it does have an in-display optical fingerprint reader as well, which is very fast and very reliable. For a phone that's this cheap, it's quite rare to see quality like this. And I do like the flat edges that they've gone with, and the positioning of the power button and the volume rocker in the perfect spot. Now, something else that I really appreciate about the design choices here on the Infinix GT10 Pro is the fact that the SIM card tray is a hybrid. So you can have 2 SIM cards, and there's also space for an SD card, so you can expand the storage up to 1 terabyte if you want to. Now, if we jump into the software real quick, I'll show you some of the key features here. So the XOS software is very iOS-like. So a swipe from the top right corner brings down all your quick settings here. A swipe from anywhere in the middle will just bring down your notification shade as normal. Swipe across and you can set up a widgets page with all your most useful information here. You can customize this however you want. Some of the nice features here is the personalization option. So if you pinch on the home screen, you can go to settings here. You can change the wallpapers, widgets, and the X theme. But then if you dived into the actual system settings and you go to personalization, here you have a bunch of stuff you can do. You can download more wallpapers. You can customize the always on display, which is really cool. There's a bunch of different things you can change. You can set your own DIY themes, change the fonts, change the magazine lock screen, so that's when you lock the screen, you have information on the screen. But here's what I want to show you, the special functions. So when you go to this, you can customize a bunch of things, including the backlight effect. So the backlight is the LEDs on the back of the phone right here. And something I really respect about what Infinix are doing is they're not selling any ad space within the App Store. Usually with budget smartphones, they subsidize the cost of the phone by bundling in loads of apps that you're never ever going to use. And you'll notice here, there's basically nothing. Now, this is a gaming phone and there's some gaming focused features here. For example, game frame rate optimization for PUBG, MLBB, and Free Fire. And when you enable this mode, you can get up to 90 frames per second or even higher on these 3 games. Of course, the chipset in here is more than capable of playing high frame rates on other games as well, but Infinix has worked specifically on these 3 titles. So there's some really useful features within the game menu when playing games. So if you swipe in and hold, it brings up the gaming menu. Here you can toggle between power saving, equilibrium, and performance mode, and there's a bunch of other really useful things. For example, if you scroll down, you can lock the brightness, you can do bypass charging, so that's where you can leave the cable plugged in. It'll actually bypass the battery and just run straight off the mains power supply. This keeps the device cooler for longer periods of time. You've got game temperature control as well if you're worried about thermal throttling. You can hide notifications. The barrage mode, this is when you get messages and it kind of sweeps across the screen as opposed to popping up like it normally would. You can increase the footstep sounds, which is very useful for shooters, people sneaking around, you want to hear them coming. But check out this magic button. So you can actually map the volume up and volume down to functions within the game if you want to. So if you get used to that, you can actually use those as triggers or as other quick functions within the game. So my first impressions of the Infinix GT10 Pro is you could certainly outplay the rest. You've just seen it here. I haven't played PUBG for quite a while now, and my first game on, 11 kills, first place, winner, chicken dinner. And I have to say, at no point did I feel the phone getting extremely hot. In fact, let's do a little thermal check. And you can see where the chipset must be. It's in that top right corner, just to the right hand side of the camera module. Again, 41 degrees. And you can see how the heat is actually spreading down through the device. That's going to be that vapor cooling chamber in action. So my first impressions on this device are very good. I like the style of it. I like the clean user interface. The gaming performance is very good. In fact, it's so good, I can't believe that this phone is under $250 at launch. That's crazy. If you are into gaming and you don't have a massive amount to spend on the device, this right here could be a great option for you. And the battery life is solid as well. 5,000 milliamp hour battery, charger in the box. You can play whilst charging and use pass-through so you're not killing the battery or overheating the device. Zero latency earbuds in the box, 120 Hz display, 10-bit stereo speakers, 360 Hz touch sampling. I mean, it's everything that you need in a gaming phone. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this quick look unboxing first impressions of the GT10 Pro. If you did, a little thumbs up would make my day. And if you just subscribed, I will see you guys in the next one. God bless.